Okay, Jolene, let's go and take a look. Having trouble with the eyelashes on a woman and still need to add more detail and for depth. Okay, time focus. We keep it the same general color palette. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look. I've got these three up. Kind of want to try to see them at the same time. So, okay, how can we do this? Okay, so, all right, okay, so to me, it's this one is probably the least complete. I'm going to go ahead and bet that you completed this one first. And you can just see a lot of difference between the technique here and then here. So these are coming along nicely, very nicely. And I've been saying a couple of times during this critique that it's really interesting how you develop a good style quickly using this technique, and so we're definitely going to see a lot of improvements. And in fact, some students actually go through the series. By the time they're finished with their fourth, they'll go back and redo the first because the fourth is just got a lot more advantageous visual qualities associated with it than the first, and that of course is the development of the technique. So I think that there's a couple of things going on. I think it's really difficult to see the spatial relationships based on the hardline or the underlying structure in its accuracy depicted because there's the original images aren't posted to look. It's really nice to be able to look at the original image and then compare that to the illustration because we can take a look at, like, for example, how the eyes are placed in the relationship to the nose and the mouth and things like that. I think one of the neat things here, especially as you move forward, like here and especially in this, is you're starting to use variable stroke widths. And that's fantastic, and that creates a lot of dimension. I think that you could use more dimension and more depiction of shadow and highlight in the facial areas themselves. You've got a great start. This is fantastic. I think this is the least developed of the three. As far as the eyelashes go, hey, let's go right over to Marilyn here. And there's technique in here for these eyelashes. Now, of course, these are, I mean, she was known for those big, giant, fake eyelashes, which, of course, you won't depict in that kind of drastic measure. Here's her big fake eyelashes, right? But neither of these would probably display that kind of those kind of eyelashes. But nonetheless, you can add eyelashes using this technique, and it's basically it's using a stroke line with a triangle profile. So it works out really well. Try it. And that's a great suggestion. I think the tonal qualities here. I think the face here it's really dark. I don't know if you're sampling color from the actual image itself, but if you are, try a couple of other techniques for skin tone. To me, that's just really, really super dark. I think the eye areas are definitely underdeveloped in all three. Here we can see there's whites in part of the eyes, but not all the way to the end, right? And then same thing over here. We've got that pupil, or that pupil is actually, or the color part of the eye is actually protruding outside the outline of the eye. So that's a little problematic there. I think that this right here, this structure right here looks fantastic. Really great job. Matter of fact, this is nice right here. It's really good work. The eyes are a little underdeveloped. Now, don't forget, something about the eyes is that, your viewer is going to spend most of their time right there. The eyes have to be really well developed because in any image or illustration where there is a depiction of a face, specifically that of a human, we go straight to the eyes. It's automatic. 10 times out of 10, 10 out of 10 viewers will go straight to the eyes and spend most of their time in that area in the composition. So that has to be really, really well developed. When I look at this, boy, this is looking great. Just a little further depiction of some of the shadow areas, I think, and you are right in there. This looks great. Tie and shirt look fantastic. This I think looks fantastic too, especially, I mean, you can tell exactly who it is the second you look at it. That's great. Again, eyes are underdeveloped though. And then this, I think, honestly, without trying to sound discouraging, I think this is the least developed of the three. One of the things that's really going to push this over the top is once you start adding some of the highlights to the hair areas. And that's what I'd like to see next. All right, great job. Excellent start. Really, really, really excellent start. Don't forget to practice with the template, the postage stamp template with the clipping mask. So try experimenting by placing these in and seeing what kind of space they take up within that picture plane, within the clipped area of the postage stamp. And, just to make sure that you get some good consistency there. So if you haven't looked at that tutorial on how to use the clipping, the postage stamp with the clipping mask, go ahead and take a look at that template file and practice, start taking these, placing them in there and activate the clipping mask and just see what your reactions are to that. All right, so great job. If you have any questions at all, please let me know. Thank you.